All too real. I've been reading Bleeker's books since her debut, Wreckage, many years ago now. I even finally got a chance to meet her IRL at Walt Disney World last year when we both randomly happened to be there. For what it's worth, I'm there frequently, living just 2.5 hours away. In fact, the reason I'm writing this review less than 24 hours before this book comes out rather than last week is because I was at Disney yet again late last week. All of Bleeker's books have been great, and this one is no exception. Several have hit close to home, either because of her Southern roots showing through or just because we're similar in age and thus have seen a lot of the same events from similar generational views or for some other random reason. This one is no different there. Something that despite knowing each other for several years now, and despite how public I am about my admiration of one of my grandfathers in particular, I'm not as public about is that I actually lost 3 of the 4 grandparents I knew in my life. My natural maternal grandmother and grandfather, and my maternal step-grandfather, to dementia long before we lost their actual bodies. Yes, that includes the World War II hero grandfather that I knew as a simple Southern farmer the last 20 years of his life. The one that I could not bear to see in the nursing home losing his mind, so chose to stay away and preserve those memories of that strong Southern farmer I had known before that point. So yeah, this book, partially about a daughter's experience with her mother who is now suffering dementia, hit as all too real, particularly when it came to one particular interaction deeper in the text that is a spoiler to reveal. Bleeker hits all the perfect notes here, particularly for someone in a more challenging relationship with her parents before the dementia strikes. All the anger, the fear, the desperation, the longing, the heartbreak, it is all there and captured so well, and yet done in an overall women's fiction tale that never gets too dark or heavy, instead turning to different issues and other relationships both new and old to more fully flesh out the overall story. The addition of the historical fiction timeline also works quite well here, as we get to see the grandmother and grandfather in their prime, including several of their own life-changing experiences before kids came into the picture. As someone who has long sought the memories of his grandparents lost long ago to first dementia and then death, the historical timeline, and its intersection with the present-day timeline, which was executed to near breathtaking and very dusty room perfection, was truly remarkable. This is one that I could very easily see recommending to my mom and second mom, one of my mom's oldest sisters, as they could most likely identify with this particular tale even more strongly than I did, having done so much of the caregiving for their parents in those years, including frequent nursing home visits. As this is an unfortunately far too common occurrence in the US these days, Bleeker could well have the biggest hit of her career to date on her hands, if that particular community starts spreading this book. With apologies for making this review have so much of me in it. But 2 things here. 1, every review should always be about the reader's experience with the book, and thus I needed to explain my history to explain my experience with this text. And 2, my own history here really is far too common these days, at least at the very high grandson of someone who developed dementia level. And thus I really do think that explaining that these types of readers in particular will find much here actually does help further a review's primary purpose, to help authors sell books. So even though so much of me is interwoven here, I think it actually both works and, for me, is necessary here. But maybe I'm blinded by narcissism or some such here and am an absolute idiot. You should read this book for yourself and absolutely feel free to call me out when you write your own review if you think that is the case. Let us know your experience with this book, even if it differs dramatically from my own. Between all of us, we can begin to get a more clear picture of exactly what this book is and is not, and that is always a beautiful thing to behold. Very much recommended.